if you can show up and just, that's kind of a new approach I've taken in my own racing, is like, if I can show up and be the person that's on that line that's gonna have the most fun, that's a win already. Like, if I'm gonna show up and be like, I'm gonna totally take this in, I'm gonna have the most fun of any person here. And honestly, those races have gone better for me, and like my emotional and mental state has been better in those races than any other. Because then you come away from it, you're like, I was still the person that was there, that was like fully present, taking it all in, enjoying it, having fun, and typically when you're having fun, things go well. Right? Like,
100%. 100%.
In anything.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You guys, you know that Coach Stowe that I've been talking a lot about? She's a real person. I live. I'm real. I've been too afraid to ask you to do this because I feel kind of goofy.
Why?
Because this is goofy. Okay.
It's great.
But
I like it.
We have a mission today. Stowe is gonna help me.
What did you call it in your calendar? Like
my world record strategy session.
Yes, so we're going for world records.
Yeah.
You know.
It's gonna happen. So we're looking first at, you need to see all of my things, my speed stuff for the last couple times. Okay. We'll be right back. Okay, we've gone over some crucial.
We've talked a lot. Talked through
You've missed a lot.
It's planned though. No, it's not.
Okay.
A little bit.
What are your thoughts?
Thoughts of force. So we're kind of bouncing around with all types of goals. Yes. We have multiple, which I like.
Hold on, I'm actually gonna move this closer. Hi.
I like that you have levels of goals. I like that you have a number of different ones because it allows a little bit of flexibility in your approach.
There we go.
In terms of looking at your volume and long run progression and how the effort of a lot of that felt, I think that 350, 340 is something that we can try to plan around and work within.
Cool.
One of the biggest things for New York especially is being conservative up front. We talked about this last night a little bit. So we kind of recapped last night with Moonshot, we recapped race strategy, preparation, last minute things. And basically we want to get you through 16 to 20 really as conservatively as possible and make the last 6 to 10 really where you're focusing on your approach to the race and actually racing. So I like to make things a little bit smaller than that even. Like that 10-10,
it's
10K
too much. I like 4
nice.
miles.
The 10-10-10K is nice, like big picture, but it's also, 10 is a big chunk.
Too much.
It's a big chunk. It's definitely biteable, but I think it's nice within that 10 to break those into smaller sections. And even from like a mental perspective, not just doing 2 and 2. Sometimes I like to say, let's get through 6, then let's get through 4, then let's having landmarks, having like imagery as well with the bridges and just being able to play around entirely. So as I've been studying that, I like taking that first 2 miles really conservatively. So I'd say starting even like 45 to 60 seconds slow on the bridge because you're climbing. As you start the race, you're climbing. You know, the energy, you kind of get sucked into it. I was talking to one of the guys about being his own island and letting the waves, the waves moving around you. So just stay within yourself. Like you were saying, be your own, stay in your lane.
Stay in my lane.
Be your own island.
Especially because I'm starting in wave 1 where everyone's going to take off at 7s. I'm a little nervous about that, to be like, goodbye, everyone.
You probably won't be the only, there'll be a number of people.
See you later.
So for you, starting in that like 9:20.
Ooh, I'm glad we talked because I was going to take off at 9.
Yeah, let's even pull back and go like 9:20 for the first mile. And then you're going to come down, right? Because the bridge comes back down. When it goes up, it comes down.
You heard it here first.
And keeping that with like 15 to 30 seconds. So I would say within goal pace. So for you, goal pace is 8:25. That would put you at that 340 range. 8:23 is 340. So 9:20 for the first mile. 8:50 to 9 for that second. We're gonna stay really conservative up front. Miles 3 to 8, that 6 mile chunk. Let's be about 15, 20 seconds off goal pace. So 8:40.
Okay.
For 6 miles. This is where I'm saying biting that 10 miles into smaller chunks, using the landmarks, and you're in Brooklyn, so it's just flat, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just going straight
Yeah.
down, what is it, 4th?
Yeah, that's where I live.
All right, perfect. Then you're used to that.
I'm running to my house.
Running home.
And then having
go
that
home.
internal monologue of like, nope.
I am not going to veer off. Okay, so then from 9 to the half mark, let's try to get into that 8:30 rhythm.
Okay.
Okay. So that's going to put you well on the backside of what goal pace is if we're going to shoot for that A goal of, or Z goal of 840, of 340.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we want to keep that super conservative up front so that, like we said the other day, you're not building lactate, you're not getting into that tempo type threshold level until a little later in the race.
Yeah.
Then steady, you can start working down to goal pace, maybe 13 to 16, and being conservative still, like we talked about, and the imagery that I envisioned coming off of the bridge onto First Ave is you're breaking that sound barrier, you're coming in, and then, but keeping that energy like within. And I was picturing, I've described it as a sponge. I've described it as
that. I've also told 3 people that.
Nice. I've also described it as Powerball Z. Did you watch this?
No.
No, okay. Or like, I'm on a super big Harry Potter kick because
I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
I didn't watch Harry Potter till just now. So
Did you read the books? You should.
I wanted to play outside.
You should listen.
When I was little, I didn't read the books. That's a tangent. We're on a tangent. Let's come back to the point. Anyway, watching it where he's like absorbing all of them, or like, I guess we could think about it as like positive Death Eaters, where you're sucking in all of the
Positive Death Eaters. I love that.
Happy Death Eaters.
Happy Death Eaters.
I don't know, but absorbing the energy that is and not getting carried away with it, but just letting yourself soak up all of the like excitement that people are bringing to you.
Totally.
And restoring that so that when you hit that 21, 22 mile mark, when you're about to take that 100-foot climb over the next 2 miles to 24, from a mental perspective too, like the way I've broken this up is I like the mental side for that 20 block and then the 10K.
Yeah.
Because for the first 20, you want to use that frontal cortex. You want to use the logical human brain that is like rational and saying, I'm going to execute this thing, it's in control. And then when you hit that 10K last 6, once you're at 22, well, 20 to 22, and you're going to start that climb, you flip into that limbic, like barbaric, animalistic chimp that's just action oriented, it's emotional, it's taking all of the things that are just survival, and you're putting it all on the line. So you're flipping to that point where we've talked about some of those mental skills of counting and being in action and not using the conversational aspect. Using that and
like dog.
Animalistic. Look at this guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
that makes total sense.
Yeah. So that's what I got. And
what do you think I should end, like those final, like from breaking, if we're breaking 5th and then Central Park? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just working down. I'm just doing what I can.
I mean, I say you get.
I mean, I don't need a number.
22 to 24. That's where I kind of shut down the pacing. To be honest,
I don't really care to know. I think I'll know effort level.
And I think it's pouring it out, right?
Yeah.
And what I've said is you're just breaking it as small as you need it at that point. You're getting to the top of the hill, like the back hills, you roll through those. You get to the top, you have like 2.2 miles, and you're just crushing.
Yeah.
Like you're just you're taking on as much as you can. You're pressing into it, the fact that it's going to burning and hurting, and you're pressing into it.
Cool.
Every step.
I am so glad we did this. Okay, now I'll show you mine.
All right, tell me what we got. What I see is it's almost hard to keep yourself, it's too hard. Yeah. Too hard. Or we want to make it approachable to where you're not straining the mind of like, oh my gosh, I'm this far off of race pace. Like, you're close enough, but you're not tipping over from a physiological perspective. Yeah. And you're also like, okay, I'm still here. You're not getting in that space of, oh my gosh, I'm going to make up how much time? Yeah. It's a conversation just having. It's like, you get to halfway, you're roughly two minutes off goal pace. Yeah. You can make up 2 minutes in 2 miles. To be completely honest, you just are hammering 2 miles out. You could easily drop. We were talking about finishing long runs, some people starting at 9:10, finishing at 7:10.
Yeah.
If you do this appropriately, you have the reserves to crush the last two. If you've been fueling appropriately, if you've mentally, logically approached that first 16 to 20, you can make up that buffer that you allowed yourself in the front in that last little bit. 30 seconds a mile is not that challenging in that moment.
I think the best thing is that the last 2 times I've done this, like looking at my strategy and seeing the times, like immediately made me be like, okay, I know I can do this, but fuck. And this time I'm like, average, which is so bonkers. I never, ever, like, my best races were always surprises. And I think I always thought that was how it had to be. And now I understand the point of training.
Why were they surprises?
Because I think I always could do it because I worked for it, but I never gave myself permission to like make a plan and be like, trust the plan and stick to the plan, because I got the plan from my coach who knew I could do it because I had done the work. It was always like, this is what you're supposed to do, so hold on for dear life. And like, that wasn't the case at all, but that's how I interpreted it. Okay. So it is so bonkers to see these faces and be like, I do it all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, any time you're approaching a marathon, there's that aspect. I talked about that at the beginning of the program. You have to respect it. So anything could happen in 26 miles.
Yep.
You have so much. So we made a plan. You're going to get into a moment of it, and you're going to have to adjust. You have to go to the bathroom. You have to do, you know, like you're going to have to be calm enough in that moment to adapt if you need to stop and stretch, or if you need to
change my shoes.
Whatever you have to do.
Who knows?
Take the time. I've seen women pull off the track, tie their spike, their shoe came off, went back, grab it, put it on, come back and win a race.
Really?
You know, like if you stay calm. If you look at, we were talking about Coach Bennett, he made a video of, she went to Minnesota. Gosh, her name is slipping me right now. She's professional. Heather Kemp. She ran for A6. She's been a road mile champion a number of times. Just totally, she fell down in the middle of one of her races. Like got wiped out on an indoor track. I'll send you the video. But she wipes out, gets up, and out of nowhere, like, comes back and wins. So it's just like, if you can maintain composure and maintain like rationality and flip to just action over the last bit of a race, you never know what's gonna happen.
I've always like tried to distract myself as much as possible during races and try not to be in the race. I always thought that was my survival tactic for running races.
Okay.
And then it flipped to like give all my energy away in Brooklyn, because that was distracting to be like, ah! And then you get into First Avenue and it's just like dead. So
it's all those people are out there to support you, so it's not.
I know, it's like I'm like cheering for them to be like, yay! You get to absorb it all.
So
I feel like
fully present.
I feel like a very different racer.
I'm super excited to see what some of
Who knows what's gonna happen?
We don't know.
Who knows?
You literally don't know. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. We set a little plan.
Yeah.
See what we can do.
Trust it and just good time. Have a good time.
Yeah. Honestly, I found too that if you can show up and just, that's kind of a new approach I've taken in my own racing, is like, if I can show up and be the person that's on that line that's going to have the most fun, that's a win already. Like, if I'm going to show up and be like, I'm going to totally take this in, I'm going to have the most fun of any person here. And honestly, those races have gone better for me, and like my emotional and mental state has been better in those races than any other. Because then you come away from it, you're like, I was still the person that was there, that was like fully present, taking it all in, enjoying it, having fun. And typically when you're having fun, things go well. Right? Like,
100%. 100%.
In anything. Like, so,
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Dynamite.
The last one ever. Until next year.
Until next year. Until, who knows? We'll see what you have next.
Let's film a YouTube video.
I always know when there's a camera. It feels weird, but it's not.
But I know you're naked. He's naked.
And that's probably super zoomed in on you.
Oh my gosh. Find your light. There we go. Winter's coming. All right. Game time.
You feel good?
We did it. Yeah.